Um, Welcome to everybody. Today I have Darren Smith, joining us. And Darren, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everybody. So my name's, as Matt introduced me, as Darren Smith, and I'm down in Southampton. I work as a clinical specialist physiotherapist at the Acute Trust, University of Southampton Hospital Trust, and also Solent NHS Trust out in the community. I'm generally kept busy by my 3 children and try to keep fit and sane by doing some weekly exercise, usually a swim and a run. Professionally, I joined the MACP in 2014, and this might sound really cheesy, but one of the parts of my job that I really enjoy is having the MACP students, and since 2014 I've successfully had 6 students, which I'm really proud of.
In your own experience leading up to considering route to membership, can you recall any influences on some of the decision making as to why you thought MACP as opposed to any other route to advanced practice?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what happened in my case. I was early on in specializing in musculoskeletal health, and I was really fortunate to work with some inspiring clinicians in my local NHS department, and they sort of stood out from their peers in being able to problem solve around very difficult clinical cases. And it just got me thinking, on discussions, what is it that makes them different from the others potentially? And it just became clear it was that these guys had all been through the process of the postgraduate training and become MACP members. So I guess they inspired me, and so went through the process in 2014, and haven't looked back since. It's been fantastic.
And you've brought up the idea of mentoring and supervision. In terms of any feedback from your students, are there any key things that they've experienced that you'd like to share with others?
I think the general experience, I think what stands it out from potentially other MSCs is that clinical placement aspect right at the end, where your practice is, in a nice way, I hope, scrutinized, and I think there's a development process that has happened anyway through the master's level critical appraisal synthesis process, that then we can work with clinically actually seeing live patients together. And everyone, it's a tough process. You're putting yourself up for scrutiny, and that's not for everyone, which is one of the great things about where the MACP is going with inclusive membership, for all levels of clinician. But for those that are considering going through it, I would have no doubt in recommending that process for what you get out at the end. And I say, having gone through it myself and understanding the stresses that you can go through, but coming out the other end and how you feel afterwards, it's something I feel strongly about, and that's why I like to be really fortunate to have students and give back in that way, so other people can have similar experiences, hopefully, from what I had.
People have talked about how they feel it's enhanced their clinical practice. Have you any examples of how that's continuing to help you today?
Yeah, I think particularly before we had the advanced practice pathway, which has come out recently, it absolutely helped me being ready for the next level of work, moving into what would now be called advanced practice roles, but obviously previously called extended scope or clinical specialist roles.
Is that exposure to critique of your thinking seems to be a critical element?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're in those roles, often the buck can stop with you a lot of the time, and your ability to reason through things and make reasonable decisions is a big part of those roles. So I think that's what the process sets you up for.
So you almost run the gambit of having been student and mentor, clinician, and now you're on the MACP Exec Committee as Professional Engagement Officer. Can you share with us any thoughts you have for the future?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time for the MACP at the moment, because of the opportunities that have presented themselves, that they've done really well to work with in terms of the advanced practice pathway, and also opening their doors to all levels of physiotherapists, but also now considering opening their doors to other non-physiotherapy professions, which is obviously up for vote this year. And I think from a professional engagement perspective, for the MACP to build its profile and be more recognised as a leader in musculoskeletal health, that's definitely the route that we need to go down. So in the role of professional engagement officer, obviously I'll be supporting the regional reps, and will be looking after the South myself to put on some events for members and non-members, so that we can support those members, build networks, and hopefully gain a few additional members along the way.
Fantastic. So appreciate your time today. Thank you very much. I'll end the recording now.